All right, today we're going to talk about reports and mostly with the formatting. I'm not going to ask you to type out a two-page report, but we'll look at the formatting of reports. The first type that you were probably familiar with when you were a little younger was what is called an unbound report. You use a stapler and you staple it in the corner, and that's why it's called unbound. You're not binding it on the side, and it probably looks something like this with the title in caps and your name on there, and this one's showing some feedback that the professor gave. Another style of report that maybe you've done before is called a bound report, and it's called bound because you are binding it on the side, either with multiple staples on the side or a binder of some sort like this, a plastic binder. And they have different margins and a little different formatting, and so that's why it's important to know about the difference in them. Now, a lot of teachers or professors will be asking you to submit them digitally, and they may have another format altogether, and you don't even have to go out and buy the binders or bother stapling it. They just want it submitted digitally, and that's great as well. There are several different styles that your teachers or professors may ask you to use when you are working on papers. One is called APA, another is called MLA. There's one called Chicago, there's one called CMS, and there are others beyond that too. APA and MLA are probably the most popular. You'll see writing centers for various colleges or universities will talk about the difference between them, and they'll have both the information available to you. MLA is typically used in English and art and so on. APA is used in social sciences, social work, sociology, psychology. You'll see the terms works cited or the term references. They basically mean the same thing. It's what the sources that you got your information from when doing your report. You'll see a little different format on how they're cited: last name, first name, or last name, first initial, and so on. It's important to know that there is a difference. So if you end up going to North Hennepin Community College, they have a research tutorial site under their library link, and it talks about the different styles, the APA style and the MLA style. So if a professor asks you to use one over the other, you can use this as a source for you. If you go to Hennepin Technical College, you'll see the same thing. They have the APA style and the MLA style, and they have these writing centers to kind of help you as you're working on your projects. If you end up going on to a larger university, such as the U of M, you'll start to see even more. Here they get to the CSE and the Chicago, and they have writing centers where sometimes you can even go in person and get some help, but oftentimes they'll have information right online here to guide you. And here's an example of showing the difference between the two styles. MLA, in this example, is showing the student's name and the professor and the course and then the date. And here's the title. There's not even a cover sheet, a cover page of any sort. The title's just right on that first page. They have the page numbering right on the first page. It's all double spaced, and the 1-inch side margins. Here's the APA style. It does have the title page. It has what's called a running head, so you'll see that on the top of each of the pages. Basically the title is carried on each of the pages, and then they're numbered as well. And it has the same type of margin. It's all double spaced, but just slightly different, and professors or teachers will look for that you're following the right format.
All right, so you're going to be working with something called
that I put together
indent.
On
when you are working on references or
because
works
that will be one of the things that you're going to do with our report.
The style that you're using calls for the second line of each of the references to be indented. Some students will hit return and then space over, or they'll just try to space over to get that second line indented. But actually, if you type them in just all at the left like this and just using the wraparound, and then you go to highlight the lines of text. If you notice on the ruler, this little tool on the left side is showing your left margin. If you click and drag on the bottom of the three pieces, it will move whatever you've highlighted all the way over, all parts of it. Oops, I'm going to move that back. You'll see that goes back. If you grab onto just the top of the three pieces there and pull over, you'll notice just the top line is indented that 1/2 inch. If you grab the middle of the 3 pieces and pull just the middle over, it actually grabs the bottom piece with it, you get the hanging indent, and it moves that over. And that is a very handy little tool to know how to use. So if I'm going to grab all of these, do my, oops, I grabbed the whole thing by accident, do the hanging indent, it moves them all over in one swift move. So that's a very efficient way to do a hanging indent.
So when you are doing the formatting for your assignment for this class, we'll use the format that's in the book. It will have a 2-inch top margin and then 1-inch side and bottom margin. The title will be centered in all caps and bolded. The paragraphs of the report will be double space, and it will have a 1/2 inch paragraph indentation. Any subheadings, paragraph headings, would be all bold with just the first letters of each of the major words capitalized. It will be having the page numbers not on the first page, but on the second or third or fourth page, and you can put those in a header and on the right side, or use the page numbering and have it be on the right side. Each would have the same impact. So this is the format you'll use: 2-inch top margin, 1 inch for the remaining, 1 inch on the second page, double space, indenting the paragraphs. And then when you do the references page, you'll have the word references, all caps, bold, with a 2-inch top margin, the page numbering again, and then you'll use single space for the works cited, or the sources, with the double space in between them. They will be alphabetized, so if they're not alphabetized, you'd have to make sure to alphabetize them. And then you'll use the hanging indent, so you pull that hanging indent over the 1/2 inch. You'll